So today we're going to be doing a 2-in-1 review, and that is the Imperial Assault Tank Driver and then the Assault Tank Commander. So these were first seen in Rogue One with the Imperial Assault Tank on the planet Jedha. And I do have that Assault Tank. I will do a separate review of that eventually and show it off a little more. But today we'll be just taking a look at the action figures, these two in particular. So the Assault Tank Driver was released first, and then several months later Hasbro revealed that they're going to also release the Commander. And these were some of the initial action figures that were released in the TVC 2.0. I believe it may have been the second, third, or fourth wave at this point. So it's still early on, and this was just before the face printing tech was starting to take off. I think the Bouch Leia was the first one that featured it, if I recall correctly, and it was shortly after these were released. But anyways, we'll take a look more at the figures here in a second. We'll take a look at the package first. Now, I don't have the Assault Tank Commander's package. I got this action figure loose from Tungori several years ago, but I do have the Assault Tank Driver. And basically the Commander's packaging is very similar. It's just more of a closer up image of this one here. In fact, this one barely even shows the driver at all, just a little bit of his head, and that's it. I'm not a huge fan of Rogue One, but I still think a lot of the trooper designs that came out in that movie, like the Shore Troopers or the Scare Stormtroopers at that time, the Death Troopers, and these ones are all great to have in a collection. The driver is VC-126 and the commander is VC-148. Some of the other figures from the line, I will get around to the Death Trooper eventually. I don't have Snoke or the First Order Stormtrooper, and I don't have that Han Solo in the Impy's Nest. That Han Solo is actually one of the most disappointing TVC action figures to date, I think. And at some point I might talk about that in another video. But if you have it, you probably know what I mean. So that's the package. So they're both the same exact action figure. It's just the Commander's a slight repaint of the driver. Mostly it just has some silver paint detailing on his shoulder armor there, and a little bit here and there, and that's about it. A little bit of red on his torso. But other than that, it's pretty much the same exact action figure. Take a look at the driver closer first. So a lot of this borrows the tooling from the Scare Stormtrooper. I think about the only thing that might be new is the helmet. And maybe the torso is slightly retooled, but other than that, that's pretty much it. This has a lot of great paint detailing on it. I like how they did a lot of the dirt on his armor. It looks very natural. And it's consistent throughout. It's not like splattered in one area and that's it. I think they did a better job on this than they did on the Remnant Stormtroopers, for example. One thing I have seen some samples of, it's not so bad on this one, but the visor there, sometimes the paint can be a little blotchy. And I think on my Commander here, it might be a little off on the edge there. Yeah, you can kind of see that. It's not too bad, especially since he has this extra forehead armor on him that kind of hides that a little bit. So in terms of the articulation, he has a ball jointed neck there. Mostly you can get side to side motion out of it. He doesn't go up and down very much. Has hinged shoulders. It's about as far as you can get it. Hinged elbows, goes about 90 degrees. And he also has hinged wrists. This one goes in and out, and this one goes up and down. Very good ball joint in the torso there. And he has hinged hips. Then the swivel thigh. It's kind of hard to get his thigh to swivel because the rest of the hip wants to go with it. So it's something that you might have to work with a little bit. He does have hinged knees technically, but that's as far as it can get it. It doesn't have a very deep cut there at all. And then hinged ankles as well. In terms of accessories, he just comes with the E11, one of the newer styles of it. A lot more detailing on this style compared to what we used to get in the mid to late 2000s and early 2010s, but unfortunately it's not very useful for putting in a holster. So that's the driver. I suppose I'll point out another thing about these two is just like the Scare Stormtrooper, I can't really put a stand on these. You can see the peg in his foot there is very small. You could either drill a little bit more in his foot, or you can cut a peg on a stand for him to make it fit better, but I don't think it's a big deal. These stand pretty good on their own anyway. Haven't had any problems. Take a look at the Commander a little closer. Same exact action figures, same accessories. Like I said, it's just a slight repaint of the driver. Again, it has a very good wash of dirt on him. It's consistent throughout. But other than that, that's really all there is to say about these action figures. They're very basic for what they are. They're great to have with the tank. If you have the assault tank, they're definitely essential for that, or vice versa. If you have these, you definitely should get the tank to go along with it. Unfortunately, these have gotten to be very expensive in recent years. In fact, these are probably some of the most expensive TVC 2.0 action figures you can get to date. I've seen this one go for like $100. And I've seen this one go for like $50 or $100. I got both of these from Tungori actually at the time. This one for like $15 and this one for like $20, I think. And I also did get one brand new as well. I actually have two drivers. The other one's displayed in the tank right now. One of them I got from Tungori and one of them I got with the card that I showed. So would I recommend these for your collection? Again, if you have the tank, it's very nice to have these. It looks great when you have all the components that go for a scene in the movie. But would I pay the prices that you see nowadays for these action figures? I absolutely would not. They're not worth it. I hope that Hasbro gets around to re-releasing these at some point. They've done the Death Trooper, they've done the Shore Trooper up until now, so I think it's about time that these get re-released at some point. It would be a great troop builder pack opportunity for Hasbro. They could do one commander and like 3 of these, or 2 commanders and 2 drivers, or they can make an entirely new driver of some kind to go along with it, and then include a commander and like 2 drivers with it. So I hope Hasbro does something like that eventually. I hope collectors that have missed out on this action figure get another chance at it. And personally, I would like to get a couple more for my collection. They're just a nice troop builder to add, and they look really good. But as long as the prices stand as the way they are now, I would hold off for a little bit on getting these. Unless you can find it for a good price, of course, for like $20 or less, I would say get it. Maybe even 30 if you're a little ambitious, but any more than that, not so much. But anyways, that concludes this review. I hope you enjoyed it and you found some value in it. Stay tuned for plenty more reviews in the future. There's going to be more to come. And if you have not already, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. I greatly appreciate it. Thanks for watching.